Hello everyone, my name is the Yellow Ojama, and I'm just here to do my first video of this new channel. If you guys end up liking the content from this first video here, which there will be more, and I have something special coming, hopefully before the end of the year, if not shortly into the new year, but I'm here with a Fluffal deck profile, despite my name being Ojama Yellow. I do love the Ojamas, however. I am a huge Fluffal player. I love Fluffals. They've been one of my favorite decks since I ever started the game. I started with a really bad build, and you can imagine being a huge fan of Fluffals for as long as I was, because I started back in, I'd say, about 2014-ish, I'd say, probably something like that. I started before then, but I stopped and then came back to the game. So you can imagine how excited I was when Patchwork and Whale and Scythe and all those got announced, which is really, really cool. But I'm gonna stop delaying. I have my Ojama Yellow card, my mascot. I'm just gonna get into the deck profile now, because that's what y'all are here for. So to start off, obviously 3 Fluffal Dog. This is most likely gonna be your best normal summon. This probably is your best normal summon ever. Because the fact of when you normal special summon it from your hand, you get to search any Fluffal monster from the deck, and you get to, or you can search a Egypt Scythe. It is a hard once per turn though. Most of the cards in this deck are, and it can only be summoned from hand to get that effect. And it also is good for getting off a link play started. Next up is 2 Fluffal Penguin. I only play Penguin as 2 because it is, again, hard once per turn, but during your main phase, you can special summon a Fluffal from your hand, except Penguin. Effects only be used once while it's face up on the field. And if it's sent to the graveyard for fusion material of a Frightful monster, you get to draw 2 cards and discard 1. This is really good because you can discard stuff like your chain off of it, Frightful Repair, Toy Vendor, Wings, just there's so many options. And if you fuse it with Scythe during your opponent's turn, then you can actually use both Penguins sometimes. Next up is 2 Fluffal Wings. This card is mostly used for the Toy Vendor combo, because once it's in the graveyard and you have Toy Vendor on the field, you can banish it along with another Fluffal monster from your graveyard to go ahead and draw a card, then you can destroy Toy Vendor, draw another card, and then you get the search off Toy Vendor being destroyed, which is just insanely good. I see so many people waste an Ash Blossom against me way earlier, and this is already in my grave and they know it's there. I think just a lot of people don't read it. And again, hard once per turn. Next up is 2 Fluffal Bear. Bear is really interesting to me because it gets around basically every hand trap. I don't think there is a way to negate Bear with any hand trap that I currently know of, because you discard him to the graveyard from your hand, and then you set Toy Vendor to your spell and trap. You don't add it, you don't mill it, you set it directly to the field. With it being a spell trap, obviously it's not a special summon, so Ash can't stop it. So it's really interesting. And this is primarily what I banish off the wings. He also has a second effect that I've maybe used once or twice, where you contribute him from the field to add a polymerization from your graveyard back to your hand. You can only use 1 of his 2 effects per turn, so that's why you almost never use the second one, despite, well, that and also banishing him off the wings typically. Next up, I played 2 Fluffal Sheep. I used to only play 1 because I thought Sheep wasn't that good, and then I realized how good it was, because you can, normal summon your dog, search your sheep, special sheep, and then make a link to, or if you got like chain in hand, you can bounce the dog in your hand and normal summon it during your next turn. Special chain, send chain to the graveyard, and then you get the search off of it. So sheep is just really good. The bouncing and special summon is once per turn. The special summon of itself is not, which is really good. To the 1 of Fluffal monsters, I play 1 Fluffal Angel, mostly for the fact of being a Fluffal monster for fusing. But its penalty effect does come up every once in a while, which is you target a Fluffal or an Edgimp in your graveyard and special summon it. You cannot special summon monster next deck for the rest of the turn except for fusion monsters. And then it also has an effect on field, which I don't think I've ever summoned this thing to the field, really. You can ship this card, target a Frightful Fusion monster in your graveyard, discard a card. All that is cost, which I really don't like. Oh no, my bad, you only target as cost. And then you special summon it, but that's not really gonna come up ever, because if you play it, you usually play it as the pendulum effect. 1 Fluffal Owl. He's just the 1 of, you'd much rather use your normal summon or a special summon you have for dog. But when you normal special hour from the hand, you get a search of polymerization, and you can only use one of his effects. You can only use one of his effects once per turn, hard once per turn. Or while he's on the field, you can pay 500 life points, and he will count as a polymerization, which is nice. Sometimes you summon him off of Fright for Repair, which is why I played that card now. One Fluffal Cat, just when it's sent to the graveyard for fusion material of a Fright for... Oh, never mind, just sent to the graveyard as fusion material, so you could use this in other fusion decks. Don't know why you would, though. You basically just add polymerization back to your hand, hard once per turn. That's why it's a nice one of. Very searchable. Almost everything in this deck is searchable, which is really, really nice. Onto the edge imps. 3 edge imp chains. Sorry if I'm not centering things, but 3 edge imp chains. Probably the best edge imp, just because it searches any of your fight for cards. And it's just an edge imp, so it works with everything. You can use it for sheep. I'm not playing Fight for Sheep, though. I cut that a while back, just because I stopped finding any use for it. But Edge Imp Chain, when it declares an attack, which, funny enough, I have used this effect before, but it's just because I bricked and my opponent bricked, so I just started poking him with Chain. When Chain declares an attack, you can add another Edge Imp Chain from your deck to your hand. But the more important effect is when you send from the field or your hand to the graveyard, which is nice because you can discard it off Penguin or Toy Vendor or whatever. You search any Fright for card from your deck, which is really, really good. Next up, this one's arguable. You can play 3 if you want. I only play 2 of the new Edge Imp Scythe, which lets you fuse during your opponent's turn by discarding it and, well, not even discarding it, it's a fusion summon. During the opponent's main phase, you fusion summon a Fright for monster using this card and monsters you control or in your hand, which is really good because for one of the combos I'll show in a minute, you can fuse this and make your whale. I'm fairly certain most people know about this by now. You can make your whale and pop a artifact Scythe set, so you lock your opponent out of spell and trap, which I was really excited to notice that because it really gave Fluffals a play for going first other than just calamities. 1 Sabers, you need it for stuff like Tiger and Wolf and some of the other bad ones. But you can summon this from the grave by returning the card from your hand to the top of your deck. It's just a one of you kind of have to play. This is my personal tech, Herald the Orange Light, because I just started getting so sick of getting to Birud. I just figured I had to find some kind of negate, and then I remembered this card was a thing. Actually, due to APS doing one of their structure deck duels, where it was whatever, it was the versus Light and Dark. It was the whatever the one is, that field spell where it tributes Layer of Darkness versus Parshaft deck, that stuff. And then I think it was Alex played this, and I realized, oh, you discard a fairy? Oh, cool. All Fluffals are fairies. So you can, it's just a monster negate. You discard a fairy along with this, and you negate it, which is really good, especially because you go first, you set up a Scythe combo, your opponent tries to activate a monster effect, negate it on top of blocking out the extra deck, and then you go to your turn to go to decay. They attempt to Nibiru, you tell them to piss off. I play 1 Artifact Scythe. Don't need to play anymore. I don't play the Sanctums because I play the Link to search this out directly, and then Whale can pop it because then it gives Whale a target to pop on my side of the field because Whale is a target something on both sides. So you play this, you pop it, special summon it. It's also 2200, which is really nice. But you special summon it, and then you lock your opponent out of their extra deck for the rest of the turn. Onto the spells. 3 Toy Vendor. I don't know why you would ever play any less. Toy Vendor is really great. Continuous spell, discard a card from your hand as cost to draw a card, reveal it. If it's a Fluffal, special summon a monster from your hand. And when this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to search any Fluffal monster or an Edge Imp Sabers. So basically it's the same search effect as Dog. Just a really, really good card for the deck. I was playing this at 2. I have now bumped it up to 3 with the new Whale combo because I really, really want to see this if I go first. Patchwork. Add an Edge Imp monster and a polymerization from your deck to your hand. Not too much to say about it. Obviously, playing a fusion deck, 3 polymerization. Fluffals don't have their own polymerization card. They have like their own Miracle Fusion card, which is banishing from the graveyard, but they don't have their own fusion card. So polymerization just lets you fusion summon. I play the 1 older style with the 2, or I play the 1 newer style with the older 2. just because it's like my lucky card, my lucky secret. I much prefer the old rarity, or the old print, but it's just that luck. 2 Fire for fusions, because again with Calamity, you got a Calamities play. You're gonna burn up one of these during your first turn. Go on your second turn, you get the other one. You can make a lot of the plays. You can just detach the other whale from Calamities during your turn to shut your opponent out of hand trapping you. And then you can Fright for Fusion to banish the whale along with the 2 other materials you use to make it. Or whatever else you have in your graveyard. Summon Sabretooth, and Sabretooth will bring back that other whale you detached. So I played as a 2-of for that. Another 2-of, Fool's Rail Goods. Just really good spell. Dump your Toy Vendor to the grave, or your Fight for Repair, or whatever you feel like dumping. To the 1-ofs, Monster Reborn. Just really good staple. 1 Call by the Grave, because Konami just decided to put that to 1. I feel like it was to push, whatever the new knock card is that you ban it. You like send them card from your deck to the grave to negate. I really don't like it. And then 1 Fright for Repair. You play this because you dump it off of Whale, and then you can use it to special Owl from your hand, so you don't have to waste the normal summon on it, which is really, really nice. I almost never use it for its first effect of targeting a Fright for Fusion in your grave. Return to the X deck and special Fluffal or Edge monster from your graveyard, because you can only use 1 of its effects per turn. So I usually use the banish effect, or if I draw it, I will discard it off of Vendor or off of Penguin. And to round out the main deck with 1 trap card, Red Reboot, just because Imperm has pissed me off one too many times. That's just my own thing. You could easily cut that to bump anything else up to 3 or whatever. Onto the extra deck, I play 1 Artifact Daga. I believe that's how you pronounce it. What's really nice about this too is a fairy. So for something like Nightmare here, she will get the boost off that, which is really, really nice. On top of just when an effect when an effect of another card in the field is activated, you can quick effect, so you have to chain this, which is really weird, but that's fine. You get to set an artifact monster from your hand or deck to your spell and trap. Destroy it during the opponent's end phase. During your opponent's turn, if this card is destroyed, you can special artifact monster from your graveyard and defense. I never knew that part. I never read actually the second part of its effect. If it dies, you get a summon from the graveyard. That's interesting. I didn't know that. But you mostly just use it because you link into this and then you activate Patchwork, search your Polymerization and your Scythe, and you'll chain this to set your Artifact Scythe for the Whale combo. Next link is Cross Sheep. I feel like they made a mistake in printing this, and it was meant to say Fright for Cross Sheep, just because this really seems like a Fluffal card. It's got a bunch of different effects. The only one we really care about, though, is when a fusion monster is summoned to zone it points to, you get to special summon a level 4 lower from your grave, which is just really nice because if you go into turn 3, if you go first, you can link this off with your normal summon dog, make this, put 2 more fairies in the grave, fusion summon below it, summon something back, and then link it off into like a unicorn or a Borreload or Boral Sword. You really don't need Boral Sword in this deck. This deck has plenty of kill power. You really don't need Boral Sword. You can if you want, but you don't need it. 1 unicorn, because you can pitch a card and then spin a card your opponent controls, which is really, really nice. Again, Fiend, so if it dies, Nightmare gets that boost. 1 Borreload, just because it's a Borreload. It's just a really good link 4. Every once in a while I find myself making this thing, and doesn't target steal, so it gets around stuff like Avermax. It just ignores, which is really funny. I did that to one of my friends once. He didn't realize that. 2 Sabretooth. This is something you could do 3 of. I prefer it at 2 because I never make more than 2. All your Frighters get 400 additional attack. You have to use a Fright for Fusion monster and 1 or more Fluffal and or Edge monsters. And if someone using 3 or more material, it gains immunity to battle or can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. And when you summon it, you summon back a Fright for Fusion from your grave, which offsets having to fuse something for it, unless you banish the material. 1 Kraken. I used to play this at 2. I brought it down to 1 just because I make Whale way more often. Kraken is still a very good card though. Very generic, any Edge-Imp, any Fluffal. And then you get, unfortunately, it targets. It only sucks. If it didn't target, I would definitely play 2 of it, because it would 100% out Red Eyes Dragoon, which would be amazing. But it targets, and it sends to the graveyard, not destroy, which is very different, for those who don't know. Cannot attack directly turn to use it, but if you summon this, use the effect to send, fuse it away into Sabers, bring it back, it no longer counts. It's not being allowed to attack because it's now a different card. And it can attack twice. And during the end of battle phase, if it battled, it switches itself to defense, and having a 3k defense is pretty nice. Next is 2 Whale. I'm considering bumping this up to 3 for when I have to make a Calamities play, so that I can make another Whale during my 3rd turn. Same material as Kraken, Edge-Imp, and a Fluffal. When it's summoned, you target a card on both players' field, destroy them. Or actually, it doesn't even target. You just destroy 1 card on both players' field, which is really, really nice. If they just mixed Kraken and Whale's effects, that would be an insanely good Frightfur card. Once returned, quick effect, target a fusion monster you control. Send a Frightfur card from your deck or extract to the graveyard, except Cruel Whale, and if you do, the target monster gains attack equal to half its original attack until the end phase, or until the end of his turn. A lot of things that people messed up with this card was they thought it meant the monster of the attack of the monster sent. So people would send like Daredevil, or people would consider playing Daredevil and send it because it's the biggest Frightfur monster with 3k. No, it gains attack. So if I target Whale, it's going to gain 13, not 15 from Daredevil. This is what I'm considering cutting 1 of for the 3rd Whale. 2 Tiger. Tiger's just really, really good. This is the main card why you play Sabers, because it takes 1 Sabers and 1 or more Fluffal monsters. When it's fusion summoned, target cards in the field up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon and destroy them, which is really good because you can just wipe your opponent's entire field if you put enough materials into this, or you summon the Frightfur fusion. And then all Frightfur monsters you control gain 3 attack for each Fluffal and Frightfur you control, which is really good. But you can only control 1 Tiger, which makes sense because that would be insanely good. 1 Frightfur dog, or Frightfur wolf. 1 save, it takes a Sabers, 1 or more Fluffal monsters. Must be fusion summoned above material, cannot be summoned by the ways. I think it's the only one with that effect, other than like Leo. It can attack equal to number of materials used for its fusion summon, so it's going to minimum have 2 attacks. It's only 2k, which is unfortunate. If it was like 3k, that would make it a lot better, but you boost it up with stuff like Tiger and Sabretooth. I play him mostly for the fact of I just really love Wolf, and I can easily cut Tiger to make space for the other thing. So I actually lied. I do still play the Sheep. Sheep just takes a chain and a Fluffal monster. Is 2k. If it battles, it negates card effects to the end of the damage step, which is really, really neat. I forgot about that part effect. That's why I kept it in probably. And if it's destroyed by a battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon it back, and if you do, it gains 800 attack once per turn, which is pretty nice. 1 Nightmare. It just takes 1 Edge-Imp plus 2 Fluffal monsters. I play this because it can get really, really big, because you just load up your graveyard with fairies and fiends, and I've gotten this thing to like over 9,000 before, I think. Somewhere between 7,000 and 9,000. Point is, Nightmare can get huge, and if it's targeted by a card effect, you can banish the Frightfur from your extra deck to negate and destroy. I forget. No, it doesn't even destroy, it just negates. And it only gets the booster in your turn. I wish this card was better. I wish it was just an Omni Negate. If they made it an Omni Negate, it would have been an amazing card. Even make it a hard once per turn Omni Negate, I would still play it if it wasn't a hard Omni Negate, which I don't know if that's such a thing. I would definitely play more than 1 of it, just because Fluffals really need ways to negate, and that's why I play the Herald. It doesn't even switch itself to defense after battle like Kraken does, which I really wish it did, because it's only got 2,000 attack. But it's still a decent 1 of. I like it. And then the 1 True King of all Calamities, because Whale is level 9. Once per turn, during the player's turn, this does a quick effect, since it has that text, for those who don't know. You can detach a material from this card, declare an attribute. This turn, all face-up monsters in the field become that attribute. Also, monsters in your opponent's possession with that attribute cannot activate their effects or attack. And then it's got some True Draco, True King stuff, but we don't worry about that. What's interesting is this also will stop hand traps. So stuff in their possession means hand, field, or grave, and I think also banished, because that's their possession. but it only changes stuff on field. So if you declare Earth, say, and they fuse away Penguin in the grave and they try to activate it, it will resolve because it's in the grave, so it won't be changed. But Calamity is very, very good Floodgate. Just very good going first card. So that's it for the main and extra. Onto the side. I don't have a complete side, so you can kind of do what you want with this, but I like to play Dino Wrestler Pankratops. It's a very, very good side card. Special summon if your opponent controls more cards than you. And then tribute it, target a card, destroy it. Really, really nice. 3 Ghost Ogre. I think this one's just best for the deck. And also it stops stuff like Mystic Mine, which is a royal pain in the ass to deal with. I used to play it, and then I just really hated myself playing it because it's not fun at all. If you want to play Solitaire, go get yourself a deck of cards from Dollar General. Don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I know when people make jokes about the meta being Solitaire, but that is a literal Solitaire deck. This is controversial, but I like to play Firecracker. If you play optimally and your opponent doesn't, take their sweet old time like a sweet old grandma, you should never have to use this, but I play it just in case, because I have the space in my side deck, because like I said, I don't really know what else to play. So I play the 3 Firecracker, because even if my opponent goes first for going into time, it's quick effect, so during the draw phase, if that's when time's called, I can just play it, and yeah. And then to finish it off, Book of Eclipse. This is a really interesting tech card that I side. Change all face-up monsters from the field to face-down defense. During the end phase of this turn, change as many monsters face-down. Change as many face-down defense monsters your opponent controls as possible to face-up defense. Then your opponent draws cards equal to the number of monsters changed face-up by this effect. On the surface, it seems bad, but if you activate this right off at the start of your turn, and your opponent doesn't negate it for whatever reason, it also just kind of forces a negate. But if they don't negate it, you just summon Tiger and pop all their face down, because they can't respond to them then. So that's why I thought of this, and I think it's just a really neat tech card. But that is it, guys. That is it for my Fluffal deck profile first video of the channel of Ojama Yellow. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, consider liking, commenting, all that and whatnot. Maybe hit a subscribe if you feel like it. I don't know. I don't know what Ojama's attack is, because he doesn't have any attack points. Was it just Ojama Punch? I don't remember. I just love the Ojamas. But anyways, again, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you giving this video a chance, and I'll see y'all in the next video.